Akil.
My name's Kadir.
And we're part of Olentangy Berlin High School. We're part of the school club called HOSA, and we're here to talk with
Tony Coder, the director of the Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation.
And basically our topic is going to be about mental health of adults in the workplace, because as being students in high school, we deal with a lot of stress on our own, and we just felt that the adults in our lives are often overlooked. After talking to various teachers that we converse with on a day-to-day basis and other adults in our lives that we really look up to, that smile that they put on their face isn't always the full picture of what's going on in their lives. And we just felt that how much we care for them and how much they care for us, it's something that's really commensurate, and we just kind of felt that they really need to be, their mental health really needs to be looked at as well. And from talking with multiple people, we just felt that there's this stigma that's surrounding it, and it's becoming taboo in society. So we're here with the director to talk about this issue.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
So, what is mental health?
So mental health wellness is really a goal that we aim for. Mental illness is something that 1 in 5 adults suffer from. Some have severe mental health issues, which can range everything from schizophrenia to schizoaffective disorder to other milder forms, although they can also be pretty severe, are depression, anxiety, and it is something that has really become an issue just in the last 20 or 30 years that people will talk about.
Could you describe the stigma surrounding mental health?
So I worked for Congressman Patrick Kennedy at one point, and he was doing a bill around mental health in Congress. And the one thing that he shared was that he said that it took 17 years for him to pass a bill about mental health parity. Why was that? Because it took 17 years for him to convince Congress that the brain was part of the body. Now that sounds kind of funny, but what he meant by that was that when you're thinking about health, you think about your arm, you think about your heart, your kidneys, all of those other physical body parts. You don't think about your head. But without the brain, which is kind of your microprocessor, everything else kind of just doesn't work well. So it really hasn't been talked about, and really something that a lot of people suffer with in silence because of the stigma that surrounds it.
As a community, what can we do about it?
Talk about it. Do exactly what you're doing right here. Share with one another. If you're having a bad day, if you're depressed, do not make other people feel that somehow they're different. Again, 1 in 5 people suffer from a mental illness in their lifetime, which 20%. It's a lot of people out there. If we're talking 300 million people, that's 60 million people that are suffering from mental illness. So you're not alone. It is something that if we can come together and share with one another and share in that burden, that we could really make an impact around the stigma and the lives of these people who suffer from mental illness.
And finally, what resources do you guys offer here at Ohio Suicide Prevention Foundation?
So we offer trainings around the state for individuals who want to learn more about suicide and mental health. We have mental health first aid, which is a day-long course that helps folks understand what depression is, anxiety, schizophrenia, all of those different mental illnesses. We have QPR, which stands for Question, Persuade, and Refer, which is a training that helps any individual who just wants to know what are the signs and symptoms of suicide. How can I talk to somebody who I think might be suicidal, and how can I refer them for help? And be that friend and that person in their life that actually can save a life, which is so exciting. Some other things that we try to refer people to are the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and then also something called Crisis Text Line, which is a text line that it's anonymous, but if you dial or if you text 741-741, a trained crisis counselor will be back to you in 5 minutes, and you can actually discuss that via text with that person. We do a number of other trainings and awareness events, and also are active down at the State House.
Again, thank you so much for your time, and I guess from this conversation and this interview, we kind of come to the conclusion that we can only do this if we do this together. So let's end the stigma together.